Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful morning this Thursday, April 25th, approximately 8:42 a.m. here in Costa Rica. We are pre-recorded today. We will be doing a live show, hopefully, I think Saturday or Sunday morning, now that we do have fast internet. What a great time it's been. Our newsletter's coming out in the next few days, the second chapter. We've got some new infographics. Everything's going great. We're excited to be building and growing in this space. Now, we've just watched, okay, there's a few things we want to bring up here. The first of which is actually by Adamant Capital, Tour de Mister. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. I'll leave the links for this down below, but this is a great write-up they've done called Bitcoin in Heavy Accumulation. Makes a case for the bull market continuation. And just in general, I think what's so important about the internet and decentralization is really the large aggregate of content. You know, the ability to find information from so many great minds and come to your own sound conclusion is probably one of the most valuable things that the internet has offered us, is it gives us the ability to think critically because there are so many brilliant things to be said. Again, I will leave the link for this PDF down below, and also the show that Tone Vase did with Tyler Van Zen, Willy Woo. I think there's like a 5-hour stream. It was fantastic. That's what you want. You want to see more people having a debate, an open conversation. I am still bearish, but that's mostly because it's mostly an intuition thing. Sometimes you feel that there's so much heavy resistance around the $6,500 area. So we've got Bitcoin open on the weekly chart here. As you can see, I actually made sure the 200-day moving average was turned on before we went live today. As you can see, that's where actually we bounced off around the $3,000 area. Now, this is a very heavy area of support, as when we say, oh, the history of Bitcoin, it's never gone below the 200-day exponential, or the 200-day moving average. And that's true, but the only downside here is we don't have that much data on Bitcoin itself. So to say, oh, well, it didn't happen the last two times, well, we don't have enough data to see what might be happening in the future because we just haven't got there yet. Now, one of the things that Willy Woo had mentioned, and this is something I've agreed with and said before, is that we may not actually be watching the adoption of price in itself. We may be actually watching the adoption of information technology. And these are a much fundamentally sharper curves in price, which may invalidate some of our bull or bear sentiment. We may not actually be watching the movement of price in something at all. It may actually be that we are watching the adoption curve of information technology. And the scarcity model has never hit the internet space, right? The ability to have only one song. If I send you a song, you can copy it 1,000,000 times. The scarcity model in the infrastructure layer of all technology will make a big difference. The fact that Bitcoin is eating the financial security layer is obviously one of the most important areas because that's where deflation is most relevant. But that's also important to remember that information technology is in itself inherently deflationary. It actually eats up the ability, for instance, like the cell phone we have right here, this is better than any technology the US military had back in the 1970s. I have it in my pocket. Everyone has one of these in their pocket almost. They have more technology than the US military had just 20 to 30 years ago. That's what technology does. It deflates the ability for the average person to actually enter into owning something which is vastly more sophisticated than it was just a few years ago. So I think the strongest argument for Bitcoin's bull case is actually made in the idea that this is information technology and it's doing the same thing we've seen other information technologies do, which is grow at a rate which is closer to the significance of something like a virus. Anyways, the point of this is I wanted to go over and realize and give my sentiments to the realization that there is the possibility that we're watching an S-curve in information technology adoption right in front of our eyes instead of actual price curves, which is something we've never really tried to chart before in terms of emotional and human sentiment. Because now you have value also related to information technology, and that we have not really had before. We've had the separation, the speculation of a company that's using information technology, but not the technology and the adoption of it itself. Very, very interesting and fascinating ideas. Again, in our newsletter, we're going to go over that. We're making also our case for the bullish and the bearish sentiments, as there is both cases, right? When Tyler came on the show and they were talking about $1,000 Bitcoin, I also had my own reservations for why we might go that low. And this is really what you want to do, and this is what I think the internet is so valuable for, is it gives us the ability to go out and listen to a bunch of great minds speak what they believe to be true, whether it's intuition or from fundamentals or from technicals, from years and years of experience, we get to learn and grow together. And this is one of the reasons why we started the Arcane Bear, is because we felt that having more voices creates a better choir, especially for those that can sing. And not I'm a great singer, but I've been practicing for long enough that you add an extra voice in the choir, all it does is make the initial course stronger. Anyways, we still have reason to believe that we could see that $6,500 bend, especially here. I've got the Ichimoku cloud open today as well, something I don't normally open, but it's a great indicator from looking at buy and sell areas. And as you can see here, the 200-day exponential moving averages haven't crossed on the weekly, but you have a lot of bull sentiment that's coming through from the people that are like, oh, we had the daily cross right here and about to happen as well. You have the 200-day moving average versus the 100-day exponential moving average about to cross right here as well. But this is also about to cross at the extreme height of that takeoff point. We would have rather seen that cross back here for it to be more of a bullish sentiment. Anyways, this is one of the important parts about technical analysis, is that it's not exact. It increases your range of being successful in trades, right? Because you're not looking for, oh, I want to get the exact bottom or I want to get the exact top. We had suggested many times that this $3,000 area was actually a great point of entry, and it should represent around 30% of my. It represented around 30% of my re-entry back into the market, aside from what I was already holding. Because as we scroll out into the daily here, again, the cause for lower ideas is that there's a massive gap all the way down to the 1,200 mark, and then we actually have more support and fill here from the $4,000 area than we did in the 6,000. And look how long the $6,000 area took. Let's go right here. Was our first drop. 294 days to build up this particular area of your volume profile, and even that we broke through. So the fact that we have a little bit more strength down here around 3,800 doesn't say that there's anything to break through. And there's all kinds of, we could make the arguments, well, we don't know what's going to happen. There could be some type of black swan event that pushes all assets into question, which would push all commodities, pretty much everything in the market down, because we go into modes of survival. Food prices would go up, general necessities would go up, but all other assets would generally start to be paralyzed. Things like collector's art or collector's items, etc. So it's a very, very interesting time to be paying attention. So we're very grateful that we can be able to do this, to learn together, to grow together. Again, on the MACD here, on the 1 day, we actually just turned down. We've been we've been down actually. We've been raising in price, but the MACD has been going down. It'll be interesting to see if we actually cross positive on that on the daily as well. Scroll back in on the hour, and we see we're actually on it's a small short signal on the hourly chart. Again, I'm not a big fan of day trading, but we're stubbed right up against the Ichimoku cloud, as well as we broke through the cloud of sale, which actually occurred around 56.26. We didn't close on the daily into the $5,600 area, which is what we were looking for to give us more potential into the higher areas around 60 to 65 or 6,200 to 6,500. We closed the daily candle out at approximately 5,500, so below that range of the VPR that we were really looking for to be more bullish. So we're right in the midst of it. I mean, everyone, give yourselves a pat on the back. This is history being made. And regardless of if 3,000 was the bottom or not, or if we're going to find lower lows, or if we're going to break into a bull market, congratulations to everyone that is here. You are ahead of the curve still. We are significantly ahead of the curve. And one of the main points that we're making in our newsletter is that this is an asset that you want exposure to. Even if you don't even have any dollar assets exposed to it, if you're just getting into it, you're learning about what blockchain is, you're realizing the importance of digital scarcity models, it's a huge revelation to take in, and it's an extremely important one. I think it's commonly overlooked. I actually want to give a shout out, one of our writers here, AX, I'm looking forward to his stuff in the newsletter. He wants us to, well, and I agree, there's no need to underestimate certain tokens like EOS, Ethereum. These are big boy players, and they're likely not going anywhere. So it's great to keep an eye on them. So we're going to start charting more of these tokens. That will come out in our newsletter and our private notes, so that the private members will get more of that data. I usually only try to do maybe 5 to 10 minutes once a day of charts, updates, etc. Again, I'll leave the links for the Bitcoin Heavy Accumulation by Tour Demister here. It's a fantastic write-up. I actually messaged him this morning, hopefully get him on the show. I think it's important, again, to offer as many perspectives as possible because we just don't know. That's the whole point, is we're all, the more we can learn together, the better. So we're going to start charting EOS in our private den more specifically. Same with the Binance token is in there. We were also taking a look at Raven, and there are a few others. Tron is one of those other, you just don't want to underestimate these guys that are making big moves, especially in the media space. A huge part of this is about recognition. People have forgotten that, but I think Gary Vee is one of the fundamental expressions of your company now is an online media brand. So it's important to keep that in mind. Anyways, we'll dive in a little bit more into EOS. For those of you that are interested, all that information will be in the newsletter. We've got some nice breakdown. Same with BNB. If you haven't signed up and you'd like to sign up, you can go to arcanebear.com/club. From there, you can sign in. If you are already a member, if you are not a member, you're gonna. I think we're actually doing a little bit of maintenance on the website right now. You can sign in when it'll give you the resources here. If you're not a member, none of this will show up. You'll actually have to click and sign up. It's $30 a month. We're excited. Again, we're going to be producing a bunch of content. So the other day we produced our first infographic. Let's see if I can open this up here. Pretty exciting. Let's see. We opened our new infographic. There it was, candlestick infographic. So this is just, we're going to start building out more of this educational content for everyone. That way there's the mix, right? There's everything that goes directly to the private den members. Excuse me, I guess that's going to be in the video anyways. And then there's the rest that kind of makes into the overflow, because we're just trying to create as much value and content for the entire community. We're grateful for all of your support, whether you're a private Bear Den member or not. So keep your eye out for more content like this. We'll be posting these on the website, sharing them through all of our social media. We hope that little tidbits like, how to learn about candlesticks. We hope that all this information is helpful for everyone. One of the big things about Bitcoin is you're your own asset manager now. So might as well gain some skills as to what it means to be an asset manager, which means general infrastructure and understanding of all the things that are going on. This is why we like trading, learning, is because I myself now consider myself my own little personal asset manager, and that's what we want to do as well, is empower everyone else to feel that same. Not only do you hold your money now, but you manage your own assets. Anyways, this too with the Arcane Bear. Smash that thumbs up button, 2019 style. Subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that little bell as well. A little ding-a-ling every time we produce content. Again, thank you, Bear family, for so much for being supportive of one another. You guys do a great job in the Telegram channel. The links for that are down below. It's amazing to see so many different people of like mind help one another. And I think that's one of the most valuable parts of the community, is that we're not trying to create followers. We want more leaders, and the more leaders that we have that work together, that focus on things together, the better this ecosystem will be. That's Again, shout out to Tone Vase, Tyler Jenks, the live stream they did with Willy Woo and Tour Demister. Yeah, fantastic. This is fantastic. It's exactly what I like to see in this ecosystem. So hats off to everybody. I slowly see this space becoming more and more mature as we grow, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And I hope you guys, and like I said, give yourselves a pat on the back. We're some of the first to the table here. We have an amazing decade ahead of us. This is T with the Arcane Bear signing off for the rest of the day. We'll see you guys on the other side. Boom.